I made this video because I have some ideas that I think will help all of you become better players. No matter what level you are, these are things that really can make a difference in how you hit the ball, how you learn how to continue to improve. And it's really been a goal of mine to pass on some of the information that was passed on to me from my coaches and teachers. So that's why I decided to make this video, to give you the tips that have helped me and that I know will help you. Before we go any further, I want to mention that there are a couple of key things that a lot of people don't realize. Tennis is basically a hands and feet game. And most of you probably know that the feet get you to the ball or get you in position. But a lot of you aren't really aware of where the hands fit in. In other words, some pros will tell you a real stiff wrist, no wrist at all. Well, when you watch the good players, they're using their hands. The fingers in the hands, there's a softness in the hands. So when you hit the ball, you want to think of the hands helping do the work. So that's really a key thing that we're going to stress throughout the video. Footwork and hands helping. To demonstrate the hands and how they work, basically as I drop the ball and hit it, the key points are going to be that my racket and my hands are moving together. So as I drop it and hit it, the hands do the work. In my method, basically, there are 4 key things you've got to remember. The ready position, number 1. Number 2, prepare early. Number 3, point of contact. Understanding where the proper point of contact could be or should be if you get ready in time. And then the follow-through and what happens with the follow-through. So those 4 points are all part of the way I teach for every shot. And if you can understand and get those 4 points coupled with the hands helping you and good footwork, your tennis game's going to improve. Here I show the point of contact being not in a good spot. This is going to be another one that's too far out in front where I reach and I'm off balance. But now I focus on the proper point of contact. Using the hands, that directs the ball. Here we have Philip working on the actual practicing of understanding the right point of contact. As he hits it, it's comfortable, he's balanced, and he makes a good shot. Here I am working on not hitting the ball too early, like if I could just catch it and drop it. So I prepare, I get ready, and I wait, and then I make a good contact, and I follow through to my target. And you've really got to think about this because all of us have been told to reach to get that ball way early in front. Here I prepare, I wait, and an excellent point of contact, good follow through to the target. Again, on this particular shot, I'm going to really reach a little bit, but wait, and then I make a great shot because I didn't hit the ball way in front. Work on that. So, as I demonstrate number 1, the ready position, you want to make sure when you're waiting for the ball that your feet are moving, you're on the balls of your feet, that you're not kind of flat-footed. Try to eliminate all the tension. No death grip. Relax, because it's important to be relaxed in the ready position to go to the next step, number 2, which is early preparation. As I see the ball coming, and for demonstration purposes, we're going to use the forehand. As we see the ball coming to my forehand from the ready position, I turn and I prepare, and my racket's back early. Now, I'm ready so that when the ball bounces, I can hit it. So step number 1, ready position, prepare early. Now, for step number 3, the point of contact. Think about if you could find the proper point of contact, how would you do that? Well, I found that when I drop the ball and hit it, I don't miss it very often. So when I drop it and hit it, That's the proper point of contact if you can make it happen there. And then the follow through to the target, and don't stand there and admire it, but follow through and go back to that ready position, preparing for the next shot. So if you put those four things together, step number one, good ready position. Step number two, prepare early. Step number three, understand the point of contact. And step number four, follow through and prepare for the next shot. In all your shots, you're going to be a better tennis player. So, starting with the ground strokes. In all my years, I've learned there's no wrong way to hit a ball. There are lots of different ways. But you classify that as the style of the player. Whereas you watch Roger Federer, he's more of a continental, not continental, but conventional style player. Whereas you look at Nadal, he's more of a grinder type of player. And in the women's side, the Williams sisters are physical, very strong attacking games. All those players hit the ball differently in their style, but they all have the basics down. So that's what we're going to focus on in the clinic, in the camp, the basics. Starting with, and it may sound silly to you, but I think it's so important because everything starts with the ready position. The whole game starts there. So I see ready positions at tournaments and clubs, all different kinds. I see people bending over, I see people starting like this and starting like that. When you watch the pros, the ready position, their hands are up, the rackets relaxed in their hands, and notice their feet. Their feet are moving. And that's the one thing that will help you move better, is if when you're waiting for the ball, if you'd softly move your feet and get in the habit of being on your toes so that you can move to the shot, rather than being flat-footed, rigid, and tight. So from the ready position, then the shot starts. And for the forehand, whether you take a loop or straight back or down and up, it doesn't really matter if the shot's effective. I happen to take a small C or a small loop on my forehand. So as I'm hitting the ball, my feet are moving, then I start the ready position, the take back, early preparation. That's the second thing that's most important in this sequence. Get the racket back early. And when the racket's back, your weight should be where your racket hand is. So many players have been taught as they play to do this. As they take the racket back, to step forward. Most of you heard that step into the ball a number of times, I'll bet. When you watch Federer, he pivots and turns, he doesn't step. You never see Roger Federer doing this. So if you do this, you're already off balance and your weight is forward. Now what are you gonna do? You're either gonna hit it down, or you're gonna do what most of us do when your weight's forward. You lift and it goes out. So try to keep, from the early preparation, the racket and the hand back, your weight and balance level. Not leaning, not bending. And then, if you can understand this part and get it, you're gonna be a better player. I didn't know this until about 5 years ago. I didn't think about it as far as the point of contact. This is the most important thing that you can get out of this camp. Every shot has an optimum point of contact for you. How do you find that? Well, the simplest way to do that is drop a ball and hit it on the ground strokes. If I could catch a ball from Roger Federer, drop it and hit it, I think I could give him some serious trouble, because I'm not going to miss when I place the ball in that perfect point of contact. Most of you have been told, hit the ball somewhere in front, right? We've all heard that, you know. And the closer you get to the net, the more out in front they tell you to hit it. Like the ends with the volleys, way out in front, everybody's told. Punch it way out there. Well, I think just the opposite. I picture catching every ball on a volley, catching the ball, throwing it up and hitting it, and I'll never miss that one either, because notice when I hit it, I'm on balance. So how does this relate to you? Every shot that you hit, as you see the ball coming, if you think point of contact, okay, I'm going to get it here on the ground strokes, on the forehand, or on the backhand. How do you find it on the backhand? Just drop it, throw it up and hit it. If you throw it out here and you do that, that's uncomfortable. So you know that's not your spot. So on the backhand, it's here. So if you can get that concept, particularly on the run, you're going to make a lot more shots than you ever made. Don't force the follow through. That is happening so much today. I see so many pros teaching this. As the student hits the ball, then they're telling them, okay, keep on going all the way back to here. Now there's obviously some reason they tell you to do that, but to me, it seems like you're thinking more about the follow through than you are about hitting the ball. So when you hit the ball, think of to where you want it to go with your hand, your racket in hand doing the work, and then you prepare again, and then you're ready in the ready position. Also, if you finish behind your neck, it takes a second longer to come back to here. So that's another reason not to force it. If it happens that way, naturally, no problem. In other words, if you do like Nadal, he does this on his finish, on a lot of his forehands. He's getting that tremendous top. And then boom, he's ready right there. You don't see Nadal too often going back here. All those things about where they finish forced is a style issue. So the basics, as I see them now, the ready position starts everything. Feet moving, prepare early for every shot, including the volley. This also works on the serve, and I'll tell you how that works in a minute. Understand the point of contact, finish to the target, start it all over again. If you start to do that, you're going to be more consistent, you're going to feel the ball better, you're going to be able to hit the ball better. The grips in tennis are sometimes confusing to players as to what grip they should use. I feel the most important thing about the grip, it needs to be comfortable. And the basic preliminary grip that most people learn for the forehand when they start out is the shake hands grip. It can either be called the continental or the eastern, and those things refer to how much the racket face is turned or how far over your hand is. But when you shake hands with the grip, that's the basic grip for the forehand. And then to hit a backhand, then you turn it a quarter of a turn to the left, and you have a basic backhand grip for a one-handed grip on the backhand. There's also the extreme western grip where you're turning the hand totally underneath the racket, and this enables you to get a tremendous amount of topspin, and this is the grip that a lot of the younger players are going with, and I find a very difficult grip for most people to handle because you're really coming underneath the ball, a lot of topspin, but it's a real stress on the arm. So for most of us, really, it's either the continental forehand or the semi-western, which is the western but not as extreme, where the hand is behind the racket face, and this way you can hit the ball flat or top. And so usually a lot of players are using this grip that play on slower courts when they play on clay, and then they turn way over for the backhand, or they use a two-handed grip. Now a two-handed grip for the backhand more than the forehand is basically the right hand behind it and the left hand underneath. So when you hit the backhand, both hands are being part of it. So there's really no standard grip for anybody. It's just what feels the best for you and gives you the ability to move the racket head comfortably to the ball. And so, you know, if you have a grip and somebody says you need to change it, well, you know, hold off. Don't change it unless it's going to help you strike the ball better. So just kind of pick it up and say, boy, that feels comfortable, and I like that, because the key is being able to move the racket head and your hand as you strike the ball. So hopefully this will help you understand the grips. Also, the service grip and the volley grip are pretty similar. The volley grip for most of us is better when it's one grip for the forehand volley and one grip for the backhand volley, which are the same, which is the continental. So you're not going to volley very well if you're switching grips up there. Ball comes at you too quickly. And for the serve, you want the hand a little bit behind so you can put spin or kick slice or kick on the serve or hit it flat. Now if you hit your serve with this grip, we call the pancake grip, you're pretty much going to be limited to how hard you can hit it. So again, try to shake hands with the racket for the service grip, and then that's going to enable you to move the hands and the racket through the ball. So good luck, and keep a grip on it. When we put the serve to the test, and we put the 4 key points: relaxed ready position, early preparation. The early preparation part is a smooth downswing. I like to stress to my students that the arms work together, but they're different styles. There's no set way that you have to do it. The point of contact is understanding where the most comfortable place is to strike the ball. The first serve might be the point of contact a little more in front, the second serve a little more behind or on top of the head to put the spin on. And step number 4 is the contact and the follow through, and then make sure you get ready, because too often we hit a good serve, we make good contact, we stand there and watch it, and then it's too late. So putting it all together as we get to the serve, hopefully a good serve here. I'm relaxed, I'm comfortable, I'm on balance. I'm going to go together, up together, point of contact, and then get ready. Let's do one more. I'm relaxed, comfortable downswing, early preparation, good point of contact, and then get ready for the return. Late. So when you hit it this softly, you have to let your hand and racket do the work, like the throwing motion. So all more pace is getting from here and then making the hand go faster. Just doing this. Speeding it up just like that. So that's how you get more pace. And always remember, you start, the ready position is important. You want to be balanced, you want to be relaxed. You don't want tension. You want to say, I don't give a darn if I get it in. Kind of like Sampras used to do that funny thing with his, he kind of do this with his hand, you know, if you ever saw him play, and he'd get up there and he'd go like this. That was to keep his wrist loose. You don't want a tight, locked arm, because then you end up doing this like you were doing on your overhead instead of letting that racket head go through. So from the ready position, you think of to the early preparation, which is here. I'm ready. Now, all I have to do is get the toss where I want it, the contact point right there, and I got it. And I follow through to the target. Now, the reason I missed that, you saw it, I think, that I hit the ball up here. That's a signal that I swung too soon. Every time you hit the ball at the top of the frame, ground stroke, volley, serve, up at the top, it means your swing was too quick. So I'm going to hold my swing just a second longer and a much better hit. So I had to think, okay, I don't want to swing quite as fast. So when I hold it, then I hit it in the center. Now, the different types of serves in the game, obviously flat, slice, and kick, all have different key elements that you need to understand. The flat serve, more of the power serve, is one where the racket face hits the ball a little square to the ball, and you're putting a lot of snap and a lot of pace to earn the point right off the serve. The second serve, you really need to do maybe a slice or a kick for safety, but you want that serve to have momentum, you want it to have pace, but also clear the net with some margin for error and have a serve that hits and moves so your opponent can't just beat up on it. So to be a complete player, you really need to have all those serves, the flat, the slice, and the kick. Real relaxed. There you go, good. Up together. That's it. A little bit. Try to remember that your hand, make your hand finish to where you want it to go. In other words, you want it to go to that middle box. Think your hand right there. But you don't have to extend out. Don't force it. Just let it happen. Ready? Good. That's it. Better toss. You need a little bit out there. If you have a tempo in this part, what I try to do is think of together and then hit, or slow and go, or hooray. That's what I think about when I'm serving. So I have a rhythm in the left and right arms. Together and hit. Okay? Got it right at that, right where you aimed it. Keep those hands loose. The fingers got to help. Almost got it. That's it. There you go. That's the first one. You let the hands help you. Loosen it up. Yeah. A good tip for improving your balance on your serve so you're not leaning into the ball too soon is to put a racket on your feet and then take a swing. See if you can hit the ball and stay on balance. Don't let the racket come off. First couple of times you're going to find that you're off balance and you're moving, but your body will adjust, and pretty soon your rhythm and your timing and your balance will be where it should be, because if it's not, you won't hit a ball even close to the court. So this corrects the balance, really helps the timing. So let's see if I can do it. Whoa, I came a little off balance, but overall it was pretty darn good. Another tip that will help those of you that have a problem with the toss is basically take the ball in your free hand, throw it up there, and if you do it right, it'll come straight down into your hand. This also will help keep you from lowering your shoulder too soon, which is again a common error. So you just take the swing, throw it straight up, keep the hand up there, and the ball, if it's in the right spot, will come right back to your hand. Side, my shoulders are parallel. As I hit the ball, I'm going to try to get the ball out in front and follow through to my target, hitting it flat on. And as I hit the ball, I'm thinking extend out, not so much up, which a lot of people do on the first serve, because if you extend up, you lose pace. So the swing is more out, shoulders back, and the weight goes as you hit it. And that's the flat serve. On the slice serve, you're coming around the ball, cutting the ball with the outside of the ball. And as you hit it, the hands have to go together in the swing, keeping the weight and the balance back. And you're coming around the ball. Don't open up the shoulders too soon. That was a hell of a wide serve. Racket in front. Toss out. There I opened up too soon. Good slice. That's terrible. Slow and go. And you use the slice serve into the opponent's body or away from them. That's a great serve. Okay, on the kick serve, you want to make sure the toss lands a little behind you, almost so that if you let it drop, it would hit you, boom, on the head. And then as you hit the kick, you're coming over and out for the kick. The wrist is loose and comfortable, and you keep your shoulders up and you go out into the target area. So for the kick, it's over. You kind of tilt your shoulders back, and you have to throw the ball behind you. You cannot throw a kick serve, head a kick serve with a toss anywhere but behind you. And that was okay. And that was even better. And the loosest goose. The racket is loose, and there's the kick. When you're having problems with the toss, A good fix is to take a racket, place it down where your first serve would be, and practice tossing to that racket with a full swing. Don't do it with a half swing because that's not the serve. So you take a racket, you put it down about where the first serve would land, then you go through your motion, throw it up, and if you do it right, you're going to be pretty darn close to your racket. And if you do it really right, it hits in the middle and comes straight up and you catch it. When players talk to me about, what should I practice? I definitely always say practice your serve because that's the number one important shot in the game, the most important shot for sure. And then I say the number two most important shot of the game is the return of serve. And how often do players practice the return of serve? They'll say, I play matches, that's not practicing the return, that's playing. So go out there and spend 15 minutes hitting forehands down the line off the return and backhands cross court. You're going to be so much of a better player if you practice the return of serve and work on all of the shots. There are a lot of different ideas about how to move and what to do. I like to keep it simple, and basically I feel there's the little steps and then there are the big steps. So from the ready position, if your feet are moving, like in step number one, you're on balance to move and go to the ball. So as you see the ball coming, your footwork is key to get you turned or get you in position if the ball's somewhere close to you. If it's away from you and you've got to run, you may have to just run basically. Take a couple of big steps and then slow down and take some slow steps. And we're going to demonstrate some of these footwork key things for you. Some of the common errors of the footwork, probably the most common error that most of you make is that when you see the ball coming, you step into it. Your first step is forward. And when your first step is forward, that does a couple of things that put you in trouble. One, you're off balance. Your weight's forward. Two, what you're probably going to do is hit the ball too far in front. You're not going to hit the ball back here where the proper point of contact should be. Three, as you hit it, you're going to back up and then probably hit it out. And four, you're not going to like the result. So try to remember that instead of stepping forward with the footwork, the steps a little pivot to the side. A little pivot to the side. You never see the good players stepping into the ball. So, putting it together again, feet moving, you're ready to go. And as you go, you prepare, you get ready early, and then you make sure that you wait to that proper point of contact, follow through, and then get ready for the next shot. Here we have Dan working on footwork, an important part of the game obviously because there are no good, slow tennis players. This exercise is the footwork ladder. The object is to take little steps, stay on balance, work on being on your toes, and stamina. It works on conditioning and stamina as well. So it's a great way to work on the things that are all important for tennis. And here Dan is doing another footwork drill, which I call the shadow drill. And the object of this drill is to work on moving slowly up to the net, never stopping, and playing an imaginary point in your head, and you see how one shot flows into the next, where it's simply moving, hitting and moving. You have to tell yourself hit and move, but also remember, don't hit the ball too far in front. Again, he's recovering and keeping his head still. Common error is a lot of head movement when you're running. All the good players keep their heads still. So he hits and recovers. And the end part of this drill is you work your way up to the net with a drop shot and then backpedal and get ready to start it over. And here's a better view of Dan doing the footwork drill, the quick step and what we call the shadow, working on recovering. And one of the things Dan does that he's trying not to do is to not cross his feet in the side shuffle, making sure that his feet don't click either, because that slows you down. On his toes, moving every ball, flowing into one shot, into the next. So you recover and hit. Movement in tennis consists of a lot of different kinds of steps. There's some short steps or small steps. Sometimes you got to run full blast. So you just can't say you run a certain way. You've got to be able to kind of take side steps and learn how to shuffle. When you watch the good players play, like Federer, the interesting thing to note is that as they move, they're getting ready. They're getting the racket back as they move to the ball, so that they seldom look rushed when they get there. What most players forget to do is to prepare while they're moving. An important thing that'll help you move better is when you're waiting for the ball in the ready position, keep your feet moving softly on your toes so that you have momentum to get to the ball. And then as you practice, the shorter ball, you're not going to have to move as far. So you're going to take maybe shorter steps, a couple of side to side steps. When the ball is a long ways away, then you've got to run full blast. But always remembering to run and get the racket back and learn to use your hands on the run just like you do when the ball's hit to you. There's no key thing to say how you're going to move better other than go out there and practice and work on balance as you're running, work on preparing the racket, and remember the point of contact still holds true when you're hitting balls on the run. Often players fall into this trap too when they're playing and say they're playing really well. They tend to stand and admire their shot. Don't stand there and admire the shot. Get ready for the return and always expect every ball to come back, because you're going to be surprised if you think it's a winner and it comes back. So just expect your opponent's shot to come back. You'll never be surprised. As we go into the ground strokes, very important part of the game also, there are a lot of different ways to teach it, a lot of different styles that you'll see when you watch the pros. But the pros, even though they have different styles, all have the basics. The ready position, they're moving, they're in position. So for the forehand, what they do is they see the ball coming, they turn and they pivot. And they always, when they hit a good shot, have their weight controlled by their racket hand. You never see Roger Federer leaning into the ball like this. So for the forehand side, it's a pivot or a turn, balance, point of contact where we want to hit it if we can, and then again the follow through and then prepare for the next shot. The grips can change, that you can have all kinds of different grips. But for most of us, simple is better. Less is more. So when you see the ball coming, you turn, you prepare early, you don't rush the shot, and you let the hands do the work. And again, emphasizing how important it is not to admire your shot. Get ready for the next one. For the backhand, whether it's a two-handed or a one-handed backhand, same thing. Feet are moving. As the ball comes, it's a pivot, it's a turn. Head up, balanced, and then the point of contact. That would be on the backhand side where you could catch the ball and drop it and hit it. You're going to make most of those shots. And then the follow through and prepare for the next shot. Two-handed backhand, same thing, balance. And again, you never saw any of the great two-handers leaning into the court like this before they hit the ball. Always remember, keep your head still, track the ball with your eyes. Don't let your head drop, because that puts you off balance right from the start. So there are ground strokes for high balls and low balls, there's slice, there's topspin. Again, it's all done with the hands, not the body. So to emphasize the key points, again, step number one, a proper ready position. Early preparation for the ball. Balance, point of contact, boom, hit it, and then you're ready. And those are the key things you want to remember for every ground stroke. When I'm working on my game, which I do a lot, I try to remember the basic things that I want you to do. From the right ready position, I get ready early so I can wait for it. And I think about the point of contact, and then the finish, out, and then back to the ready position. Ready, point of contact, finish out, get ready again, don't stand there and admire it. Get ready, racket back early, and using the hands to do everything. The hands make the racket work. Okay. Now for the two-handed backhand, I want to make sure that I start with the right ready position, get the racket back early, and that I wait. Hands are back, racket's back. Don't hit it too soon, and let the hands do the work. On a two-hander, you can also hit some with a little less hands, a little firmer at contact. So you get ready early and you wait, racket back, and follow through, and then get ready again. Ready. All right. Two of the most difficult shots for ground strokes are high balls, forehand and backhand. The keys on these shots are, again, get ready early, wait for the ball, and make sure your point of contact is not too far in front. On this particular shot, you have a little more of a compact finish. Your goal is not to hit a winner, but to keep it in play, put the ball where you want it to go. So, ready position, back early, point of contact, shorter finish. Hands up, balance, shorter finish, and that's a great one. Okay, on the backhand, up high, you're gonna hit this with a little slice, and a shorter finish, out to where you want it to go, ready early, and a compact finish. For a two-handed player, the high balls are also difficult. So again, you need to make sure you start in the right ready position. Your feet are moving. As you take the racket back early, your body will turn. Make sure again that the finish is compact, it's not big. And the follow through out to where you want the ball to go, and then don't watch it, get ready. So hands up high, and that's a good finish. Up high, and that's even a better one. One of the tips that I've learned through experience of playing badly is how to correct some of my mistakes. And a simple tip that'll help you on the forehand side is basically put your free hand on the opposite side of your forehand, and then as you go to hit the ball, just let the hands and the racket do the work as you hit. Obviously you got to move, get in position, but you want to make sure that you're again not reaching. And this tip also controls your balance. So with a hand on the hip, you're unable to really step too far into the ball. So it sort of looks like this. When the ball comes, you just take the racket back, wait, and hit it. Now notice that all that's moving is the hand. And again, it's a great tip for the ground stroke forehand, also for the return of serve. So just the hand on the hip, and you'll be amazed how your body starts to adjust, and then you take the hand off, take the hand off, and then you've got a good shot. And if you're having trouble on the backhand, you put your free hand on your hitting shoulder, again, to work on keeping your balance where it should be, also so you don't reach for the ball. And you hit 3 or 4, maybe 6. By the 6th one, you're going to be balanced and not swinging as hard and having a lot more feel. So put your hand here on the shoulder, the racket back, and just straight through it. Or you can put your hand on your chest as well. And the object is not to reach like I just did. And when the ball comes faster, it's even easier to do it. So again, a lot of people don't realize that balance and letting the hand do the work is important. Now I'm starting to get the balance and feel. So I go with my two hands and it keeps my balance where it should be. So practice this, it'll help. Some of the trouble shots at the baseline can be handled in a simple manner. They can just be easily gotten into play instead of trying to do too much. What you have to remember is to prepare early when you're in trouble, a little shorter backswing, and one thing that helped me tremendously whenever I was in trouble is I aim down the middle because I have a lot of room to miss. Also, if you're in trouble from the baseline, way behind the baseline, aim high over the net. It's easier to miss it in the net when you're back far than it is to miss it out. That's where most people miss, they miss in the net. So aim high, go down the middle, shorten the backswing, shorten the follow through on a trouble shot too, because you sort of panic when you're in trouble and overswing. Prepare with a shorter backswing, you prepare with a shorter finish, you aim down the middle, and you control the finish. So in other words, what happens is that when we're in trouble, we don't realize it, and we end up taking a huge swing because we panic. And obviously, you're not going to do much but get it over the net instead of trying to hit a great shot. And that's what most people do, is they try to hit too big a ball or too good a shot when they're in trouble. The key is get it in, and then I would have a chance to miss it. So I want you over there hitting some of these that I put you in trouble with. And a high backhand. Now, don't back up on this, because take it before it gets at the top. Right about at there, on the rise. Good. That's going to bounce a little higher. Good. Now, one right at you. Shorten the finish. On the run. Way to get ready. Go. On the run. Right at you. Good. A little deeper. Short finish. Good. That's perfect. That was perfect. All right. One more like that. Short ball. Coming up. Rack it back. Great get. And always back up a couple of steps once you get that one. Good. A high one. Now that one you carried it on a little bit big. Shorten. Good. Good. Not too soon. Yeah, and you remember, just like every shot, wait for that point of contact. Good. Down the line. Good. Let that one go. Sorry. You can go down the line now. Good. Down the line. Nice. High one down the line. Short ball on the backhand. Come on. Ready? Nice. That's the way to get the hands back. Good. Sorry. Now a high deep one like this, you take out of the air. Again, on the backhand. Perfect. Short ball forehand. Come on, you got it. And perfect. All right. All the shots that I was hitting to David were designed to be difficult, to put him in trouble, and he handled them very well. He looked smooth on every ball. He was ready. He didn't look rushed or awkward because as he was moving to the ball, he was getting ready. And when the ball came right at him, he didn't take a big swing. He compacted everything. And he kept the ball in play. If you can learn to make your opponent have to hit one more shot, particularly on those type of balls, you're going to win a lot more points instead of trying to hit the one in a zillion. So think about that. Be conservative on those trouble shots. Don't try to hit the ridiculous. Get it in the court. The return of serve is the second most important shot in the game. And if you have an effective return of serve, you're going to be a tough player to beat. It's the shot that most of you don't practice enough. We'll show you how to practice the return in a little bit, but we want to talk about the 4 key points again. The ready position. You're relaxed, your feet are moving, you're comfortable, you're not tense. Your head is up, then as you see which side the serve is coming to, you prepare, you get the racket back. Then, probably the most difficult thing is to wait long enough so that ball will get to the comfortable point of contact. Most return servers that miss, they get ready late, they panic, and they hit the ball too soon. So when your point of contact, if you could catch it and drop it and hit it, that's where you want to hit it. Then the follow through is a little shorter than your normal swing. Then you get ready for the next shot. Don't just stand there, move. Go somewhere, which we'll show you where to go in a little bit also. So putting it all together again, nice relaxed ready position, early preparation, point of contact where you could catch it, drop it and hit it, a little shorter follow through, and then get ready for the next shot. On the return of serve, you want to make sure that your ready position is correct, in that you want to be relaxed, you want the feet moving, you want to be balanced, and you don't want to be leaning in to the ball. Remember also that you don't want to step into the ball, because on the serve, it's usually coming at you pretty fast. So the harder the serve, the more important it is not to step into the ball. Let that hard serve come to you. So as you're concentrating on the return, make sure that you prepare early, that you get ready and wait for it, that point of contact where you drop it and hit it, and then a simple finish. And on the backhand side, the same thing. You turn, you get the shoulders turned by taking the racket back. Think of the point of contact, not out here, but right about there, and then you hit it. So let's see if I can do any returns here. So I see the ball coming, I wait, and I hit it perfectly. That was a good return. And that was a perfect return. Now on a high kicker, you're going to chip it. You're going to block it and not hit it early. So you're getting ready, and just a little block. Ready, and wait. That's the way you handle a high kicking ball. Early preparation, don't hit it too soon, short compact swing. If you're not sure where to go down the middle. You're never going to be wrong on that return down the middle. So those are the keys to remember. Good luck, practice the return. On the return to serve, you first have to kind of get an understanding of your opponent's serve, what kind of pace and what kind of spin, because that dictates where you stand. But always make sure your shoulders and your ready position are aligned to the server so that you're not parallel with the sideline. Feet are moving in the ready position too. Again, it's a little shorter backswing than a normal ground stroke, and it's more of a shorter type finish. But the key point on the return of serve is to make sure that you don't hit the ball too soon, that you don't hit the ball too far in front. There are all kinds of types of returns. There's the chip and charge, there's the drive, there's the slice. So, but the basic concepts are same as everything. Ready position, early, wait for it, don't have a huge finish, and don't stand there and admire it. Move, go somewhere, and if it's a tough serve, very difficult pace, aim for the middle. So let's see if I can hit a few returns and show you what I want you to try to do. That was pretty good. Feet moving. And as you practice the return of serve, you practice down the middle, and then you try to go down the line. But again, on the tough returns, you try tough serves, you go down the middle. The transition game is when you're moving into the net. Sometimes you do it on your terms, and sometimes your opponent brings you in. And the key points again are that you prepare as you're coming in, that you don't hit the ball too soon, that you think placement transition-wise rather than power, and then you think that the shot is going to set up the volley. You're not going to try to hit winners. That's where most of you make the mistakes. You try to hit too big a shot. Also, transition game when you're approaching. Don't be kind of compartmentalized into only going down the line. I can only approach down the line. I've heard that so many times. You need to be able to approach cross court, down the middle, down the line, and really, depending on where your opponent is, think of this simple thing. Hit it where they're not, and you're going to win a lot of points. Also, don't overplay, and give yourself some margin for error on the approach shots and the transition game. All the principles apply: early preparation, good point of contact, use the hands, balance, finish to the target, and then prepare for the next shot in case they do get it back. Don't close too close either when you transition. You come in, you get too close, the smart guy lobs you. I don't think you need to worry about the split step, because when we played and most of us were serving volleyers, no one split step. So I don't believe the split step is necessary. It's sort of a slide or glide movement. It's got to be natural. Everything in tennis will be better for you if it's a natural, simple move. So in the transition game, practice, and work on placement rather than power. The transition game basically is when you move up. You may move up for a short ball or a drop shot, and all the principles that we've talked about, the 4 principles that are going to make you a better player, apply here as well. From the ready position, you anticipate or you see that ball going short, the racket goes back early, and then you move with the racket back up to the ball. Common mistake that most of us make is on a short ball or an approach shot, you end up hitting the ball too far in front. You panic. What we want you to think about is getting ready early, moving up to the ball, and making that point of contact where if you moved up to the ball, the short ball, you could just drop it and hit it, and you're going to have a much better shot. One important factor that I believe is critical to handling the approach shots and the moving up part of the game. The closer you get to the net, the shorter or more compact your follow-through is going to be. So when you see the good players occasionally making a huge roundhouse swing on a short ball or approach shot, they may make some, but that's the shot that most of us see on television that's missed a lot because the follow-through is too big. So putting it all together, forehand or backhand, early preparation, moving up, the point of contact where you could drop it and hit it, a little less of a follow-through, and that follow-through carries you on in to make your volley. You ready? Yeah. All right, here we go. Backhand will be the backhand. Good. Terrible feed. Good. Good, nice. Okay, back up, do it again. Now, when you do this kind of practice drill, make sure that when you come in, you always backpedal rather than turn your back and run. And the reason for that is, well, you've probably already figured it out. Right, all right, so, right, all right, here we go. Come on in. Good. Nice. Good volley. Ready? Okay. All right, back up. Go ahead and move that one though first. I don't want you to step on that in case I get you over there. Okay, hit the approach over here this time. Good. I'm sorry, that was in the sun. Nice volley. Back up. Hit the backhand cross court. That's good. Okay, that was too soon and too flat, that forehand. Just like that. Open the face. Let's do that again. Come on. Good. Still a little flat, so I'd like a little more open and a little more cut. That's better. That's the shot. Nice. No one's going to run that one down. Last one. Good. Perfect. On David's transition, everything was perfect as far as the approach shots. He got a little excited about the volley, which we all tend to do at times, and made the pass a little bit early. In other words, he swung too soon. And on the forehand side, the ones that he didn't make, he hit a little bit too flat. But the transition part was perfect because he was ready, he prepared early, he didn't rush, he was smooth, and he didn't try to hit a winner. He placed the ball to set up the volley, and that's what you need to do. Now that you've moved up to the net to make the volley, how far in do you go? How close to the net? Well, it depends on the shot that's coming at you, but for most shots, you're going to be better served to be about a third of the way in from the service line. The closer you get to the net, the easier you are to hit a lob over, and the less time you have to see the ball coming. So then you end up having to make a quick, hurried swing. So you want time up here. You want to be ready and waiting for that ball when it gets there. So from the ready position, as you see the ball coming, you do not take a step to it. You stay in position, you turn, you get the racket back, early prepare, and then the point of contact. If you could catch the ball and throw it up and hit it, you'd hit every one of them successfully in this area. You'd make a lot of mistakes when you connect out here or up here. And that's what most of us do. We tend to get ready late, we panic, and we swing too soon and hit the ball too far in front. The follow-through on the volley is probably the shortest follow-through of all the shots. It's a very simple follow-through, it's not big, and you direct the ball with your fingers and your hands. And a lot of pros will tell you, stiff wrist on the volley. No fingers, no hands. But to be a good volleyer, you need to use the fingers, the hands, to let the racket head put the ball where you want it to go. Make sure that after you make a volley, your feet are moving, you're ready to go to the next shot in case they get it. And always be looking for when you hit a good volley for your opponent to lob you. Principles are the same for the volley, but make sure you don't get too close to the net or the opponent's going to lob you. So about a third of the way in, feet moving when you're there, ready early, don't hit it too far in front. Ready, and make sure that you don't close, because if you close, you're going to get lobbed. Only close if your opponent's shot tells you to close. The high forehand volley, that's the shot most of us tend to miss because we get ready late and swing early. So on this shot, early preparation, short finish, balance, and don't overswing. Ready? Not too soon. High backhand, same thing. Ready early, and then hit. Not too far in front again. The no pace volley, or when there's a floater that you got to move up to. Move, but get the racket back as you're moving. Don't wait till you get there to get ready. So on a dink or a push or a poopy ball, that's what you don't want to do. That was a good example of how not to. All right, so ready for the dink. I'm moving up, and I didn't hit it too soon. Once you get this close to the net, don't stay there, back up, because your opponent's going to do something and probably either lob or try to hit it hard. When the ball's coming right at you, you can defend by putting the racket in this position. You can take a step backwards and away from it for the forehand, or a step backwards and away for the backhand. Feet are moving. Right at me, step back, or right at me. There's the shot. And on this shot, you don't try to do too much, but get it over. And the middle is a very safe place to hit the ball. All trouble shots should go down the middle. Here Debbie's working on the volley. The key points again, good ready position, prepare early, short finish after a follow through that's not way in front, and recover for the next shot. All these elements are important. on both sides, forehand and backhand. Here the backhand volley, Debbie works on again, early preparation, not reaching. And when she gets a high one, she makes sure she doesn't panic and reach. Like the hand on the hip on the forehand side for the ground strokes and the return of serve, this also works when you're at the net too. So again, you just put your free hand on your hip, keep your feet moving, and remember the key part about this is not to hit the ball too far in front and to let your hands do the work, let the racket do the work. So this is again to stop me from leaning into the ball or moving into the ball too quickly, and it really does work. So ball comes, just a little bit of a backswing, racket back. That I hit too soon. That one was better. Ready and hit. Also for a high one, it makes you wait as well because you have a tendency to do this on a high one, to go down. So now I got the balance as I hit, and it works for the forehand volley as well. On the backhand side at the net, when you're having problems, take the free hand, put it on the shoulder or on the upper part of the body, the chest area, and again, this will correct the balance issue. Try to remember again to use the fingers and hands and the racket head, and don't strike the ball too quickly. So let's see if it helps. Much better. Notice that I can't step in when I'm doing this. I step across, but not forward. This gives me more time and I get the balance. So now I go to both hands and my balance is much better and I'm happy with the result. If you're one of the few players that has been taught to follow the ball to the strings, and as the ball comes you move your head down here, you're really taking your eye off the ball. What the really great volleyers all do is they keep their head still, track the ball with their eyes. To correct that problem, I've actually done this. I put my hand on the top of my head. And what that does, again, every time you move your head, you feel it. So if you have that tendency and you're really trying to correct that backhand side, it'll also work for the forehand side too, but keep the hand on the head and your head will not move. You track the ball with your eyes. So that's a good way to overcome. I know you think you look silly, but who cares if you play better, right? Who cares? If you're hitting better shots, do it. Of course, now we're going to show you the overhead, very similar to the serve, but it's about a half serve or a three-quarter serve. In other words, you don't have such a full swing, and it happens when you're at the net and you're not going to let that ball drop. So it's the smash or the big shot in doubles, and it's the killer shot in singles. So the key things, again, all apply. You have to get ready early. You got to make sure you understand the proper point of contact that's not too far in front or too far behind. And a good way to do that is to practice by catching the ball on the lob with your left hand and then throwing it up, having the racket in the ready position, and then throwing it up and hitting it. That gives you the point of contact that you want to have when it's a live ball. So let's try that and I'll show you what I mean. So you're going to catch it with your left hand. Hopefully, I knew it, I dropped it. All right, you're going to catch it with your left hand. Now I'm in the ready position, I throw it up, and if I could hit every overhead like that, I'd love it. Now that I've shown you where to get that point of contact, let's see if I can do it in real time. Early preparation, ready, and hit. Ready, and hit. When does a high ball become an overhead? How high does it have to be an overhead? The best way to understand this is that if the ball has height on it as it's coming to you, and you're going to hit it by standing straight up, that's the overhead. Now, there are some balls that are in between, and those are the kind that most of you try overheads on and miss. So anything that's sort of in between and you're not quite sure of, hit the high forehand volley or the high backhand volley so that you don't make a mistake, because if you try to hit that ball that's in between, it's basically too low and you're going to come straight down on it and make a mistake. So it's an in-betweener. That's the shot that you got to be careful about on the overhead. In tennis, there are a lot of shots that look kind of effortless and shots that people make and you say, how the heck did they make that? Those shots I call the specialty shots. Some of them you already know how to hit, the drop shot, the lob, but to go through all of them, basically, the 4 points are critical. On a lob, when you're running for the lob, it's important to get the racket back before you get there, if you can. Then also think of if you could catch the ball and drop it and hit it, that's the proper point of contact. And then it's a follow through to where you want it to go, and then you move. The half volley, the ball at your feet. Key thing here is that your weight is not forward. In fact, that's a key thing for every shot, but it'll kill you on the half volley if your weight is forward. So as you come in or you get caught, the racket drops, the point of contact hopefully is here, it's a little shorter follow through, and you direct the ball with your hands to where you want it to go, and then you get ready for your opponent's next shot. The drop volley, basically catch it, throw it up, a little bit of underspin, and just practice that drop volley slightly over the net. Again, you're not leaning forward, your weight is back. The point of contact perfectly right here, and then you hit it. The drop shot, the same principles. Early preparation, racket back. Don't drop shot from way out in front. You're not going to have a good drop shot. Learn to drop shot where you could catch the ball, again, drop it and hit it. And again, these are all the specialty shots or touch shots. And for all these shots, you have to have the hands helping you. You can't have touch if you have iron hands here. They have to be soft and flexible so you can hit the ball deep or short without doing it all with your body. Here I'm working on two of the touch shots, the drop volley and the drop shot. The drop volley requires soft hands as well. You can't have an iron grip. You've got to be relaxed. You've got to use underspin. And they work better on balls that are waist high or a little bit lower. They really are not a good shot to try on a high ball, shoulder high ball or higher. So I use early preparation, and I work on the backhand as well as the forehand every time I practice these. Again, the keys are to prepare early. On a low ball, much easier to hit this shot, and I get ready and make a nice drop volley. Here I'm working on the drop shot, and remember, never try the drop shot from way behind the baseline. Always be at least on the baseline or right near it when you try the drop shot. That gives your opponent way too much time if you're way behind the baseline. So always be inside. You're using underspin here again, and you're using your hands. On the backhand side, underspin, prepare early, making sure that you do not reach, you wait. In our instant world of fast fixes, everybody wants to improve like right now. And I'm sorry to say, in tennis, it doesn't happen that way. It takes time. And you have to understand it takes time and commitment. You're not going to be a rapid fire improving player in a week or 2 weeks. It's going to take some months. So be committed and be patient, because steps in improvement are little. You take a little step, go a little bit further, and then you kind of stay there for a while. But if you keep trying and keep working and keep focusing on getting better and are patient and don't expect quick fixes, you're going to get better. For the lob, or the shot when you're on the run and you're going to get that ball up there to buy some time, the principles are again the same. You're in the right ready position. Your feet are moving. You prepare on the run. You don't wait till you get to the ball. And it's a hand shot, the fingers in the hands. And you're going to lift the ball with your hands, not with your body. Finish the shot and recover. Go back to the middle of the court. And the only way to be a good person that can lob well is to practice the lob. So I'm going to make sure I'm ready early, rack it back, and then that's a darn good lob. Rack it back early, don't hit it too soon. Excellent lob. Make sure you can get the ball up. Practice this in practice and it'll work in a match. Ball up, good. Ready early. Point of contact, soft hands. Two-handed lob, same thing. Up early and get some height on that ball. That makes it harder for your opponent's overhead if you can lob that ball way up there. You can hit a half volley from pretty much anywhere on the court, but most of the time it's going to be when you're playing doubles or you're coming in singles and you get the ball kind of at your feet. This is the one shot again where you can just drop the head of the racket and it's a little scoop shot. So there's not a lot of movement with the body, it's just the hands. So here's how you do it. There's the shot. Ready early, and again, like all trouble shots, you want to hit it down the middle. If you have, yeah, aim for the feet, good. Little scoop. And the key thing here is not to be leaning forward with your balance like this, or you're dead. So the balance stays and the hands, nice little scoop, does the work. And of course, if you make a successful half volley, move in so you don't have to make another one. Practicing is probably the task that most players don't like so much. They hate to do it. They don't know how to practice particularly well. And often players practice on their strengths. They don't practice on their weaknesses. So pick out the weak spots in your game and make a commitment to work on these, maybe for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever. But practice the weaknesses will help strengthen that part of your game and make you a better player. Contact, which definitely you need to remember because sometimes you end up hitting the ball too far in front. So we'll do it on the forehand and the backhand. And you're going to start with a racket back and then comfortable bounce and then hit it. And they'll go cross court with the first one and down the line with the second one. Okay? So now you don't want to start like this because you're not ready. You end up having to swing hard. So start from this point, okay? This is good. This is really what you need too. All right, so start with the back. All right, now bounce it. There you go. Again, racket back when you start. Okay, now that one, you were only here. So get it all the way back. Back. Okay. Remember, nice smooth finish. Racket back. Okay, now bounce it a little higher this time. Ready, balanced. Okay, now that was a little higher and you end up backing up. Instead of bouncing like that, just throw it up. Like that gives you a little more time. So just lift it, yeah, just kind of out. Ready? Okay, and you can keep your feet moving too while you do this. It's a little uncomfortable if you're standing still. Ready? Up, moving. Good. Pick a spot over there where you're gonna hit it to. All right, racket back, ready. Okay. Now hit one a little flatter this time. Ready? Okay, now this one really flat with very little top. Drag it back. That's the killer forehand right there. All right, one more. Ready? Okay, now a little top spin high, like you're playing defense, defense. Deep. That's it. Good. Excellent shot. Another one like that. Good. Okay. Now we're going to switch to the backhand side. So it's going to start when you take it back. You're going to throw it up, back, and then hit it. Okay. Go down the middle right at the start. Ready? Perfect. And again, we're focusing on the point of contact. That's great. Great finish. Great follow through. Got ready early, waited, point of contact. Absolutely a great backhand right there. Ready? Okay, a little bit further away than you wanted, but you adjusted. Ready? Good. Now hit one a little less top. Nice. And a slice now. There's the slice. Now don't let your shoulders dip. Steady. Okay, don't lean. You're leaning a little bit. Remember, the shoulders stay still and the body stays still as you hit it. Okay, ready? Okay, one more. Great, that's it. So you've gotten all the shots down that you're going to hit in the baseline. And you focused on the point of contact, which is what you've got to remember when you're hitting an actual match. So let's hit some balls that are, from the ball machine to give you a little more footwork and a little more work altogether. One of the things that I see in junior players so often is that they get so angry and they think they have to make every ball a winner. Well, realize that matches are won by the number of unforced errors that a player makes. So you don't have to hit a winner. Get the ball in the court. You're going to win a lot more matches if you follow that philosophy. Finish to the target. Pick a target over there too. Pick an area. Perfect. Great finish. Ready early. Balanced. Perfect finish. Point of contact. There. Caught it a little bit early on that one. Ready, wait, good, and remember to let the hands do the work. That's great, good footwork there. Ready, good, keep the feet moving after you hit it. Nice, ready early, come back to the proper ready position when you start. Ready, good, turned a little bit. Okay, right. Okay, back to the middle after every shot. This is a great way to get the feet moving. Back to the middle. After you hit it, good. Back to the middle. Back it back. Okay, don't lean. That's the killer when you lean. Don't hit it too soon. Wait. Now on that high one, you want to shorten the finish a little. Don't have that big finish on the high one. Shorter. That's a good miss. Ready? All right. Right back to the ready. Okay, move. Back to the middle after this. Okay, now slice. Okay, slice this next one. Okay, you're going down. Go out. All right, come on. Ready? Okay, slice the backhand if it comes to the backhand. Slice. Good. Top spin. Good. Top spin. Too soon. Nope, way big on the finish. Short on that finish. Short now. There you go. Good. Slice. Just use your hands though, not the body. Good. Slice. That's it. Top spin. Okay, slice down the line. Okay, good. Ready? Nice. Every one, you come back to the ready position after you hit it. Balanced. Good. Ready. Nice. Great forehand. That's it. And remember, the hands do the work on that backhand. Let the hands help you. Smooth. Now don't step with that right foot this next backhand. Just get the feet in position and stay steady. Okay, little steps. See, you're a little off balance on that one. Just make sure you're on balance. Remember how you were when you bounced it and hit it. That's the same feel you want to have. It's like you bounced it and you hit it perfect. Nice. Good. Ready? Smooth. Great. A shorter finish on the slice. You're carrying it a little bit. There, just like that. Next backhand the same way. Hit this one short. Good. Ready? Okay, drop shot on this backhand. Not a backhand. Drop shot the next backhand. Ready? Drop shot. Excellent. Much better balance. Drop shot. That's it. Nice. Drop shot again. Drop shot. That's not a drop shot. Good. Drop shot on this forehand. And that's why you don't drop shot from behind the service line, the baseline. Ready? That's better. Keep your head still though on that forehand. On the forehand, your head's moving. Steady. That's better. Good. You kept the head still. Ready? Good. Perfect. Nice. All right. Drill it. Sorry, I didn't give you enough notice. Okay, drill this one. Come on, drill it. Again, drill it. Beauty. Drill it. Okay, that's a tough one, that inside out. Good. Okay, match point, the finals of Wimbledon. Ready? And the new Wimbledon champion. Nice shot. And probably the most often overlooked part of the game in lessons, in coaching, is to work on the concentration. Concentration on the tennis court is an acquired skill for most players. So you have to learn how to concentrate through bad calls, through interruptions, through balls rolling on the court, whatever. You have to be able to concentrate, keep your focus on the point ahead of you, and if you can learn to concentrate, block out everything else, you're definitely going to be a better player. And on this one, and go in with it. There you go. Ready for the volley? Good. Okay, kind of tough to see. Okay, back up. See, that's where it's slow when you have to wait for the volley. Do you want me to make it go faster? Couple more groundies. Okay, smooth. Okay, one more and go. Going in after this. Go. That's it. Ready? Good. Okay. Shorter the swing, the better. Same thing, come to the ready position. Good. Okay, backing up. This is the old shadow drill. Ready? Good. That's it. Nice. Okay, last one where you're going to have to go in, and then I'll try to do it. Nice. Ready? Tough one. Think fast. Good. Okay, and you can switch after this. Okay, ready? Oh, nice balance. I want to hit a few. Playlet, sorry. That point was 50-50 there, so nobody had the edge. Okay, that was late. Getting ready. Get ready. Just get ready so you're waiting, just like the groundies. That was better. Ready? Get that racket back quicker. Back. It's hard to see, but nice. That's better. Ready? Nice. You waited. Ready? Okay, the racket's not prepared quick enough on the forehand. It is on the backhand, though. Ready? One more. Good. Go with the tip more on the forehand. And go cross court on the next forehand. Good backhand. Really see something. Try to get that foot across on their forehand. Right foot, left foot, I mean. There, get turned. That's it. Get across, cross. Good. Good footwork. Backhand's beautiful. Got to get the forehand looking like the backhand though. Cross court, nice. Okay, back to the forehand, hit it, cross. Good, head still, good. Okay. Okay, so you want to try to be ready sooner on that forehand side, so you're actually waiting. You wait on the backhand, but on the forehand, it's like this. This is catching up. So what? You're kind of going, and then you hit it. So all forehands. Better. Should be a forehand. So I'm actually got time, whereas you're kind of right as you hit it. Whereas every backhand, you've got a second to do that. Forehand, you're not. You know what I mean? Because it's back and then you hit it, and that makes it harder. So just go more here and there. That's too soon, but okay, your turn. Huh? See how you waited on that backhand. Maybe shorten the backswing up on the forehand. Just shorten it just about a third. Huh? That's better. Shorten it a third like that. That's it. Now you waited. That's it. Ready? Wait. Do you feel the difference? Boy, we'll be able to show you the difference. Ready? Good. So you're just taking it too far back. Perfect. Nice. Now you're cooking. Good. Look at that. Who is that guy? There's the bigger one. Shorter on that forehand. Don't get big. Short. Nice. Good. Too soon. Short. Doesn't that feel better? I now see what you were doing, but that's too big on that one. Keep it simple. Yeah, short. There. Short. Good. When I go to tournaments and I watch the junior tournaments and the adult tournaments for that matter, I see a lot of players making terrible calls. And you know, this is a game. This is really supposed to be sportsmanship. Tennis has always been classy, and what you need to do is remember, you got to play fair. If you don't see it out, you're not sure, it's got to be in. So play fair. You're going to be a better player too, because you're going to know that you didn't win by cheating. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I know if you watched it carefully, you've learned a lot, because I've learned a lot in my many years in the game. The knowledge that I passed on to you will help you if you take it slowly. Don't expect great things to happen overnight. It takes practice. Pick one part of your game that you're going to work on. If you focus on the key points, the key things we talk about as far as the proper ready position, to prepare early, understand the point of contact, and a simple, easy follow through to your target, you're going to be better. And again, there's no way to do it without getting out on the court. So you know, you can watch all the tennis videos in the world and take all the lessons in the world, but if you don't practice, it's not going to happen. Play tournaments too. That's the other way to improve your game, by playing in competition. And when you play in competition, remember, it's okay to miss a ball. It's okay to say nice shot. And you know, you're not better or worse if you win or lose. You know, it doesn't really affect anything. It just means the other guy might have played better today. And learn from your losses. I learned more from losing by far than I did from winning matches. I learned how to improve. So that's why we made the video, to help you learn how to improve. And if you watch it carefully and study it and listen, you're going to be better. So have fun, work hard, play better.